Hey guys, welcome back. Kamina the coach here. So, we're going to do another real quick episode today. So, this is a follow on from the first video I did that was the first thing to do to get ready to come overseas. So, number two, the second thing you need to do to get ready to come overseas. So, I felt the need to do this video because I have a large group of educators on Facebook. There's about 1,200 of us there, and a lot of these teachers are still in the United States trying to figure out where they want to go overseas. So they've made their list of places they want to go overseas before they've done substantial research into the countries that they're considering living in. So the number two thing you need to do when you're getting ready to go overseas is deciding where you want to go. So number one, what was number one? So number one was deciding why, what your primary motivation is for coming overseas. In general, there's two. There's money or experiencing the world. And you really need to get clear in your head what your primary focus is. So then, depending on your primary focus, then you need to decide on this first to help you decide on the places that you're going to be looking at moving to. So for example, if you're looking to make and save a lot of money, as an educator, it would seem initially that Hong Kong would be a place to get started because licensed teachers can make $6,000-$7,000 starting salary in Hong Kong. However, when you look into it further, you'll see that the cost of living in Hong Kong is outrageous. I mean, really, really high. It's very, very crowded. People living on top of each other. Very, very humid. So for me personally, whether I wanted to experience the world or I wanted to make and save money, Hong Kong is not an option for me. Visiting, as far as travel goes, maybe, but it's definitely not an option for me for a place to live, make and save money, or just to experience the world. But that's just me. But anyway, so you understand what I'm getting at. So it may be that number one on your list is not going to be feasible for your goal that you have in mind, right? So what I tell my clients to do is so if you have children, I suggest you do it with your children. If you have a spouse, I suggest that you do it as a collective, that you sit down and write down your top 5 places that you want to go. So not to try to be funny or anything, Americans, but Africa is a continent, not a country, with many different countries inside of the continent, and each country is quite diverse. Somebody mentioned in my teaching group of wanting to go to South Africa, and I just cautioned her to do some research. I'm not sure what her field of expertise is, but a lot of people in my teachers group are English teachers, and English happens to be one of the national languages of South Africa. That's what I mean about doing your research. So you don't want to have your number one place and the place where you've put all your eggs in one basket be a country that is not going to be conducive to achieving your goal that you've set for yourself, right? You don't want to be setting yourself up for failure before you even get started. So another country like that would be the Philippines, and it's not something that you would think about. The English is one of the national language in the Philippines. So you definitely want to make a list. So I tell people to sit down with their husband, their wife, sit down with their kids, and make a list of potential countries that they want to go to and why. Why do you want to go to these countries? Then after you make your list of countries, then do actual research. After you do the research, or during the time that you're doing your research, part of your research is actually reaching out to people who have been there, are there, Americans that have been there if you're American, somebody the same gender as you, somebody the same ethnicity as you, so that you can check out what their experiences have been there firsthand. So I tell you, one advantage that people have on me since I came overseas, it's been almost a decade that I've been doing this. There are a lot more blogs available. A lot more people are doing what I'm doing. A lot more people are much more visible online and speaking about the things that they're doing and the places that they're going. And when I first came overseas, there was very limited information on where I was going and what I was going to be doing. Very, very limited information, but we're really blessed and fortunate to have access to a wild amount of information. So definitely I suggest to take advantage of that. Reach out to people, do your due diligence, do your own personal research. So that way you can definitely ensure that you not only successfully make it overseas, but that you're happy where you're at. You want to remember that even though the Middle East is specifically, Dubai is in the country of the United Arab Emirates, just so you know. Dubai is not a country in and of itself. But even in countries like the UAE that are Sharia law run, they are monarchs. Even though it seems very free, you want to be careful. You want to do your due diligence and research what's going on in these Middle Eastern countries before you get yourself over here in this situation. So I'll go ahead and leave it at that because I am still in the Middle East. So you definitely want to know that as much as you possibly can before you get into a situation like this. And a lot of times you can't read that information online. You need to make connections with people that are in the country. So anyways, to keep from rambling, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. So now you have the number two. Number one, you need to go ahead and decide what your primary focus is for coming overseas. Number two, you need to go ahead and start narrowing down your countries and researching those countries. Find out the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right, guys, I look forward to seeing you next time. Until we meet again, here's wishing you love, peace, and joy. Kamina the Coach, I'm out.